Hello, good day viewers. Welcome to another mathematics presentation. So in this presentation, we are looking at a grade 10 topic, which is the matrices. So this is our lesson 1. So under this topic, we are going to look at how we can find the transpose of a matrix. We are also going to look at how we can find the multiplication of matrices. We are also going to look at how we can find the inverse of a matrix. So these are the three most important things that we should consider when you look at matrices. So before we look at anything, we have to understand what matrices are. So matrices or matrix singular is just an array of numbers that are arranged in rows and columns. So to have a matrix, you are having an array of numbers that is being arranged in rows and columns. So a matrix has two things. It has the number of rows. It also has the number of columns. So when you are writing that matrix, you have to make sure that you start with the name of the matrix. That should be written in a capital letter. For example, if we have matrix A, you have matrix A, and this matrix A is having the elements. So these inside are called elements. Okay, so here, from here up, we call these as the rows. Okay, and then these are called the columns. So you have to make sure that you are able to identify the rows and the columns of a matrix. So you can see this matrix is matrix A. I've written it with a capital letter A. Okay, then we have what you call the elements inside. So these are the rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3. Then these are the columns, column 1, column 2, column 3. So a matrix should have number of rows and number of columns, and should be presented in this manner. Okay, so let us now look at the order of a matrix. So how can we state the order of a matrix? So the order of a matrix is stated by following the number of rows, okay, by number of columns. So order of a matrix, it shows number of rows and the columns. So if you are presenting the order of a matrix, you have to start with the number of rows followed by the number of columns. So you can use a multiplication sign to show by. Okay, so what you are saying is, for example, if you have a 2 by 2 matrix, so this 2 by 2 matrix, it shows that the first 2 is showing the number of rows and the second 2 is showing the number of columns. So this matrix has the 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay, so for example, you have matrix A, you can see. So here we have the rows. Okay, so 4 and negative 5 row 1, 7 and 6 row 2, then 4 and 7 column 1, negative 5 and 6 column 2. So this is very important to understand about the order of the matrix. So you start by the number of rows followed by the number of columns. Okay, so therefore we are saying to state the order of a matrix, you must start with the number of rows followed by the number of columns. So this is very important when it comes to the stating of the order of a matrix. So let us now look at the examples. So we have our first example here. Write down the order of each matrix. So number 1, we have matrix A is equal to 3 and a negative 2. So first of all, before we state the order of this matrix, we must know that when we are stating the order of the matrix, we start with the number of rows followed by the number of columns. So this matrix that is written in this manner, like this one, okay, it's just having one row, as you can see, 3 and a negative 2. So this type of the matrix is called a row matrix. So a row matrix has only one row and multiple columns. So this one, it has only one row and how many columns? 1, 2. So this is a row matrix. So to state the order of this matrix, we look at the number of rows. Here we have the rows going up. Okay, then so rows, how many? 1. So a row matrix has only one row. Okay, then columns, we are going to have the columns in this way. These are the columns. Okay, so columns 1, 2. So the columns are how many? There are 2. So to state the order of this matrix A, we are going to start with the number of rows by number of columns. So order of matrix A is equal to rows or number of rows by number of columns. So here you can see rows we have 1, columns we have 2. So the order of this matrix A is equal to 1 by 2. I hope it's clear. So let us now move on. We look at another example. So we have matrix B. So here on matrix B, we have this square matrix. So a square matrix is a matrix that has got all the number of rows and the columns, they are the same. So you can see this one. What is the order of this matrix? Look at the number of rows. Row 1, row 2. So 1 and 5 is row 1, 3 and 7 is row 2. Columns 1 and 3, column 1, 5 and 7, column 2. So this matrix B, it has 2 rows and 2 columns. So the order of matrix B is a 2 by 2. Okay, so I'm going to say the order of matrix B is a 2 by 2. 2 rows and 2 columns. So I hope it's clear. We move on, you look at another example. So here we have our matrix C. So this is our matrix C right here. So we want to state the order of this matrix C. So as you can see here, 2 and 4, row 1, 9 and 2, row 2, negative 5 and 1, row 3. Then how many columns? 1, 2. So this matrix C, it has 3 rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. And how many columns? 1, 2. So the order of matrix C, it's a 3 by 2 matrix. Okay, so the order of matrix C is a 3 by 2 matrix. So you can see that the order of the matrix is very important, okay, because it determines the operation that can be performed on the matrix. So if you are adding a matrix or if you are multiplying a matrix, the order of this matrix is very what? It's very important because it will show you, okay, it will determine the operations that can be performed on the matrix. For example, if 2 matrices can be added or subtracted, if they have the same what? Order. Okay, again, 2 matrices can be multiplied if the number of columns in the first matrix is equal to the number of rows in the second matrix. So the resulting matrix that you are going to have will have the same number of rows as the first matrix and the same number of columns as the second matrix. This is very important. It helps you when it comes to addition and multiplication of what? Matrices. So we now look at our last example. Write down the order of matrix D. So this is our matrix D. So this matrix, the way it is, this one, it's called a column matrix. You can see we only have 1 column. Okay, so a column matrix is a matrix that has only 1 column and multiple rows. So 1 column, okay, 1 column, 1 column, and how many rows? Row 1, row 2, row 3. So the order of this matrix, we are going to start with the number of rows followed by the number of columns. So the rows, there are how many? 1, 2, 3. The columns 1, because this is a column matrix. So we are going to have 3 by 1. Okay, so the order of this matrix D is going to be 3 by 1. So I hope that it's clear. You are able to get the concept of what I've explained when it comes to the order of the matrix. You have to make sure that you start by the number of rows followed by the number of what? Columns. So here is an exercise. Question 1. Write down the order of each matrix. You have matrix A, you have matrix B, C, D, E, and F. So you can try to answer this work. So we've now come to the end of our session. Thank you so much, everybody, for having time to view this content. This has been your presenter, Mr. Mlenga. Bye-bye.